Hey guys, good evening. Just getting ready for the mall, washing dishes and such. Um, polls look bad for Trump. You know, all these videos we do, whether it's damage report, majority report, you know, circular, whatever, all that stuff. Everybody's talking about polls look bad for Trump. But let's say Biden wins. You know, you still have rampant ongoing climate change. I just don't think Trumpism will end because Trump's out of the White House. You know, and it gets me that all this time that Obama was in office and, you know, stuff like that was going on where you didn't have this fucking crisis every fucking day with Donald J. Trump in office. I never really took gun ownership and stuff very seriously. Like, I own guns, but I didn't go to the range. I didn't do anything for years. And it's just that with this pandemic, I'll never be the same. For one thing, I never knew so many Southerners were so selfish and were so anti-intellectual. I never knew this. And I'm not just talking about rednecks. I mean blacks too. I never knew you had so many selfish bastards and so many people who just hate knowledge and hate science. I never knew I lived around that. I can tell you, I will never trust the federal government ever again. And I don't mean that because of racism. I don't mean that because of, just because I'm a little person and all that. No, I people have talked about how with Trump and the things he's done, the things he's said, that in the eyes of the world, you know, pulling out of the JCPOA Iran deal, that wasn't just a deal that Iran had made with the U.S. That was a deal that Iran had made with the world. Trump pulling out of that deal kind of shows you America's not to be trusted. And I don't just mean that as in, like, you know, running your little secret wars in Africa that they kind of hide and, you know, engaging in coups. I'm not just talking about that. What Donald Trump has done is he's created multiple international incidents, basically, and he doesn't really care. No one really cares about that. Like, no one really, like, we're a criminal nation. We're the bad guys. We are the vagabond. I've said this before. I will never trust this government ever again. I feel like Donald Trump has made me, my family, and my community more vulnerable. You know, and it's just weird that as a progressive, I'm like, you know, David Pakman did a video on this very topic where he was talking about how now he keeps 15 gallons of water saved up for him and 15 gallons of water saved up for his girlfriend. He doesn't have guns, but he's really starting to get into the prepping lifestyle. And you could tell he was a little bit nervous. He doesn't normally sound like that. He was a little bit uncomfortable. I feel the same way. You don't hear too many socialists or liberals talk about that. And I talked about this earlier this afternoon. That this empire is going down, and it's gonna go down bad. You know, and I think Bernie Sanders would have been, you know, putting the old man, the empire, to bed. Whereas Trump is like, we're going to ride this bitch till the wheels fall off. That's to me what Trump is. And that is such a reckless, disastrous, problematic policy foreign as well as domestic. You know, I think a lot of people in this country don't have confidence in Trump. I certainly don't. But this isn't just about Trump. This is about the corporations, and this is about the way our society operates. What will happen when you get the next pandemic? That's what I keep going back to. I'm already on the next one. You know, we've seen in the South, everybody is like, oh, no. My God says this. So I'm like, what? You know what I mean? You've seen that already. I never knew so many people were just so fucking stupid. I never knew this. And I have no other way to describe it other than that, to say that they're just fucking stupid. Period. You know, you got this guy Gomer, I guess he's out of East Texas, a senator, I think, got COVID, and he's talking about he thinks that the masks, that he thinks that using the mask, which he never wore anyway, is what gave him coronavirus. I mean, it's just so stupid. It's first you say coronavirus is not a real issue. You don't wear the mask. You make a showing, a demonstration of not wearing the masks, and then when you get sick, you say the mask gave you. I mean, it's just, God, these people are so fucking stupid. Just so fucking stupid. And that's why I don't read death counts. I don't. Nobody where I work wears masks. When I was driving for ECM and I go down there to Georgia and South Carolina, nobody wore masks there. Nobody. In the truck stops, nowhere. Nobody wore masks. It was all a big fucking joke. It's a big fucking honking joke. And I gotta say, when I would read survivalist boards, and I would read a lot of the fiction stories they had on there, and people would talk about, like, what if you met somebody out there after a disaster? Would you be friends? I'm here to tell you, fuck everybody. Fuck it. I'm here to tell you, if I knew what Snowden knew and Bradley, I wouldn't tell nobody but my family and friends. Fuck everybody. I have lost confidence in the federal government, but I have also lost confidence in much of my fellow man. I've lost confidence in humanity. But that's not really fair, because I already kind of had with climate change. I already kind of had, because a lot of people down here don't believe in climate change. And I keep bringing it up. I keep mentioning that because the climate change denial is very similar to the denial of COVID. And there's different denials of it, whether it's saying that, in the beginning, COVID-19 is not real, it's a Democrat hoax, a Chinese hoax, it's all to hurt Trump, it's not that bad, people aren't dying of it, and of course, now we know that for some people it takes them a very long time to recover. We know about the damage it does to the lungs. But the reality of it is none of this should matter, because I should not be exposed to a disease. If I go to work and I say, listen, I don't want to be exposed to cigarette smoke. It doesn't matter if you're like, well, cigarette smoke won't kill you. No, I don't want to be exposed to cigarette smoke. Take that shit somewhere else. That's my right. Yeah, if I say, hey man, I don't want you getting high in front of me. Oh, marijuana won't kill. No. I don't want you getting high in front of me. It's not a discussion. And with these rednecks, I understand now why they have the signs in the South that say no shirt, no shoes, no service. I get it. People would joke about how the South is just a more homey place. No, it's an ignorant place, and you're living amongst a death cult. Yep, I realize I'm living amongst a death cult. I'm living amongst people who everything they see is the Antichrist, and everything they see is the end of the world. And at the same time, they're doing things to bring about the end of the world. Oh yeah, there is a mass of Christians who felt like voting for Donald Trump would start the end of the world. I really believe that. That's the problem with climate change. You know, like politicians talking about climate change and all that, is that I realize for some of these Christians out here, they don't want to fix society. I realize that. Like, at the end of the day, you have people who they want an unstable society. I'm not saying climate change at this point something can be done about it, because I don't think you can. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is you've got people out here who really do like disaster capitalism. You know, they really do like it, and it is what it is. I just never knew people were this stupid down here. I never knew it. I never knew people. I mean, I've talked to you guys before about how in the South, rednecks make things harder than it has to, and they make life a lot harder than it has to, and how you have to really leave the South for a little while to see what I'm talking about. But they make life hard for everybody. You know what I mean? Because rednecks have this idea of what society should be, and they put that in front of everything. It took me time to learn that. They have an idea of the way society should be, and you know, they'll just make stuff up as they go along. You know, it's their viewpoints are not based upon science or logic or reason or anything. That's just something I've had to learn. That's, you know, it's so disgusting. It is so, and I think that's kind of why maybe I go overboard sometimes with the preps. You know, it is in realizing I'm on my own. It is in realizing that there's people down here who think that meteorology is witchcraft. They think that looking at meteorology, which is a science, and looking at what the weather will be tomorrow, they actually think that's some kind of witchcraft. That's somehow reading the future. Wow. Anyway, I don't know what's gonna happen this fall. I don't know if Trump will be reelected or not. I don't know if there'll be a second, what you call it, the money or whatever. I'm not counting on that. And I don't know if there'll be a second wave or not. But I do know it's not going to be good. Peace.